Hi everyone, so this video here is going back to when I met Dr. Kennedy at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Blantyre, southern Malawi. Now, the whole reason we went into Malawi to try and take on the rabies is because in 2012 there was an editorial in The Lancet and it said that the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Blantyre annually recorded the highest incidence of child rabies deaths from any single institution in the whole of Africa. I mean, absolutely heartbreaking. It's estimated that at least one child dies each day of rabies in Malawi. So there's loads and loads of children who die of rabies. Most of them are not recorded or reported. Anyway, here's Dr. Kennedy explaining about the situation. And just to warn you, this video does have some distressing content.
I was on call one night and this girl came to the hospital with her parents and they noted that she'd been changing behaviour and that she wasn't drinking so much. And when I examined her, I could see that she wasn't that unwell at the time, but she was certainly very irritable and unhappy. And as soon as I blew in her face and sort of blew gently in her face, she startled and grimaced in the way that people do with rabies. They don't just get hydrophobia, they also get aerophobia sometimes. And it's a way of diagnosing the disease. And the hydrophobia came, but the aerophobia was the thing that gave us the clue at the time that that was the cause of her illness. Sadly, she passed away a few days later on the ward, despite, well, as all children with rabies do. Once you're symptomatic, then there's nothing that we can do other than make you comfortable until you die. It's obviously devastating to hear that your child is going to die, and to see them die over a period of a few days is heartbreaking. You know, it's heartbreaking anyway to see your child die, but to see them wrenched from you like that in a way that you know is preventable, that you could have done something about, the feelings of guilt and well, why didn't we do something different, or why does this disease exist? You know, the fear and anger that people have in their hearts is terrifying. This particular family, like many families, struggled to believe us initially that that was the cause of the child's death. But 2 or 3 of us who've seen, unfortunately, many cases of rabies saw this child and we all agreed that that was what the problem was. And we kept her as comfortable as we could with sedation and with fluids, but sadly, after a few days, she died.
Thank you, Thomas.
Mission Rabies have done a tremendous job, but the work is not done, and we know that if we're going to prevent rabies, it isn't just a one-off effort, it's a sustained effort. It's something that has to go on and on and on and on and on for years.
And this is what Mission Rabies is all about. You know, we're powering forward. We're going to try and do 14 districts this year in Malawi. There's 28 districts in the whole country, so if we can get half the country vaccinated, it'd be amazing. And in 2018, the Lancet did another paper and said the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Blantyre annually recorded one of the lowest incidents of child rabies deaths from any single institution in sub-Saharan Africa. So we can get there, we can do it. And the staff at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Blantyre are amazing. They're an incredible crew, totally inspiring people. You know, really, really amazing people. It's really great what they're doing.
I see many children die, and it's always distressing to watch children die with a disease that you know was completely preventable and could be easily prevented for lack of a few pounds that would buy a dog a vaccine or a child a vaccine. That's all it needs. So if a child is bitten by a rabid dog, it depends where they're bitten, but they do have time to prevent the disease developing if they can get to hospital in time over the next few weeks and get vaccine. Especially if they're bitten in their leg or far away from their head, then you've got a few weeks to prevent the disease. But it means a child getting to hospital, first of all telling their parents that they've been bitten by a dog, and lots of kids don't want to do that, and then getting to a hospital where they've got vaccine. But unfortunately, as soon as you see the first symptoms of rabies, even the very first one, a tingling in the hands or a child becoming slightly disorientated, then death is inevitable and will follow within the next. Well, usually for children it's quite quick, within 3 to 4 days. We make the death as comfortable as we can because we give people sedation and morphine and fluids so that their death is as quiet and as relaxed and comfortable as possible and undistressing to the parents. Here's a doctor in this department here. We are delighted to have the input of Mission Rabies. It's been fantastic. We didn't think that 5 years ago when we wrote that article that we would see such an impact. We would see so many dogs vaccinated, so many children potentially saved by such a simple intervention. So we are delighted and we welcome them and we wish them well and hope they do it somewhere else around the world as well.
And yep, as I said, so with your help, you know, let's get the other half from Malawi done. Let's do the whole country. We've got to do, I think, about 600,000 dogs a year there. So we've still got quite a way to go. Costs about £3 to do a dog. And we can drive it, we can make it happen. It'll be like a stone. You throw a stone in a pond, you get ripples moving out, and that's the way we're going to approach the vaccination. So we vaccinate, keep vaccinating out, and then build up the surveillance around, and then you can stop vaccinating in the middle, and you've got your kind of barrier around the outside, and that's the way to tackle it. So rock and roll, let's see what we can do. We've got another, I reckon we'll do it 5 years. Let's get Malawi rabies free. Rock on.